Hey Chicas! Welcome to Coding for Chicks! In last episode, we learned about creating Tic Tac Toe, and I left you with a difficult challenge. I wanted you actually to look at if the player had won the game, and I wanted you to create the functionality for that. But I think it's important that we go over that functionality and I show you a good way to solve that problem. Now let's take a look at our tic-tac-toe board again. There are 8 options of how you can win the game. Firstly, we can win by getting a horizontal line of only X's or O's, and those are going to be 3 options. Then we can get a vertical line of X's or O's, and those are 3 options as well. And on top of that, we have a corner-to-corner line, and those are going to be 2 options because we can either go this way, as is shown here, or the other corner-to-corner. And we have to take all those 8 options into account when creating our solution. Some of you might already have solved this by using an if-else statement. And don't worry, that's a fine solution for the problem. But I want to show you a little bit different way of solving it. And in order to do that, I need to start by creating a list of all possible positions where you can win. And I'm going to call that list L solution. And I'm going to write the first possible solution, which is in 0, 0. This is the left corner, top corner. Then I have 0, 1, which is the next to that one, to the right. And then 0, 2. So this is the first solution. And I'm going to show you on my Wikipedia. Here, this would be the horizontal line here across that I have written. Now I've already mapped out the winning positions and I'm just going to copy those in here to save us some time. But what we need to do now is we need to check if the same symbol is in all 3 positions in any of those lists. And this we need to do inside here, inside our game loop. Now where should we put that loop? We could put it up here. And just before we run the next round, we're going to check if somebody has won. But the problem for me is that right here, we're switching between players. And I want to print out which player has won. So I would be tempted to put it before we actually do that. And place it here in between after we put the symbol in the right place. And we can do the correct check. So let's do that. So let's write our loop. So I'm going to use a for loop because I'm looping through a list and it's just easier. And I'm using J and the J represents each individual list here. And now I'm going to write first value. So this is going to be the first value in the list. For example, this here is the first value in this list. And this here is the first value in this list. And now for the hard part. It's not enough to just get this first position here. We need to know what symbol is in this position in this list. So this is going to be a bit tricky, but I think it's going to explain itself when I start writing. Okay, so I start by writing LTTT. Because I'm getting my symbol from this list, that's the one that's going to come first. And now I need to find the position. And the position, that means the row is going to be indicated by this number here. So how am I going to get that one? Now my J is representing this list, and this is item number 0 in J. So let's start with that. J0. But that's not enough. Now we have this here, but we only need this first part. And we're just going to do the same thing as we did right here, and we're going to consider this as a string. And we're going to call forth the first item in the string, which is number 0. And there we go. But one more thing, this is now going to be a string and it needs to be an integer. So we need to put our integer parsing right here. There we go. Now we're finished with the first part, that is the row. And now for the column, or this part of the string. It's going to be exactly the same thing. We start with our brackets, and then we use the J, and we're going to get the 0th item in the list, getting the whole thing first. Okay, that's good. And then we need to get item number 2. In the string, that is. And the integer parsing. And what do you know? We're done. I'm just going to hammer the second value out as well, because we need 3 values in these cases. We have 3 items in the list, and we're going to do 3 values. So LTTT int j 1 0. I'm doing 1 because it's item number 1 in the list, but I still only want this one, so I do number 0. Okay, and then do integer again, j 1. Oops, daisies, and 2. Okay, not so hard, is it? And now for the third and final one, it's just going to be exactly the same. Int j 2 0, and we get the third one. J 2 2, and it all looks so pretty. We're almost done. We're down to the if statement. Okay, now we just need to compare the values. So is this x, and is this x, and is this x? And we're just going to do that like we always do. So first value, is it equals to second value? And is first value also the same as third value? Is it? Is it? And I'm going to write print. Congratulations, player. And now I need the number of the player, which is going to be I count. But don't forget, it's an integer, as you remember, and we need to cat it to string before we can use it. We're not concatenating strings, so we don't want anything else. You have 1. So great. Think about being that player, being all proud, winning the game, being the champion, thanking your mother, your father, everybody that supported you. It's so magical. Now, in the case that happens, I want to increase my rounds to 9. I just want to skip over everything else. The game is finished, I'm done. And I want to write a break here that will throw me out of this loop. So I don't want to run this again and again and again if I've already won. I supersized my screen. Everything's fitting now. This is so amazing. Well, I just have to tell you one thing. We're not finished. You see my pointers right here because we need something more right there. What are we doing here? We're looking at if the first value and second value and the first value and third value are the same. What happens in the beginning? We put underscores in all positions. Doesn't that mean that in the beginning, this is going to be true? I think it does. We have to fix it. And I'm just going to continue using my precious first value. So I go, and first value doesn't equal the underscore. Don't worry, my colon is still there. That sneaky little hobbit tried to run away, didn't it? Despite all my efforts in supersizing my screen. Those colons always up to no good. There's one more thing I want to do before I let you off. And that is move this guy up here. The reason is I want my board to be printed out before I announce the winner. I think it looks a little bit better that way, don't you think? I think it's time to push F5 and see the program running. Oogly doogly. I'm going to be X and I'm just going to do the first horizontal line. I'm doing 0, 0, and now I'm going to have a very stupid O. And I'm going to have him put everything in the first row. So I'm just going to start with the first place in the first row. And I'm going to take the second. And he's going to continue the same way. And then I'm... No, sorry. 0, I'm so excited. I can't write. Oh my god. Oh my god, I won. I won. Oh, I feel so special. Oh my god. I've never won anything. So there you go. You have a solution where you can check if somebody has won the game. Now this is all I have for you today. If you liked my video, please leave a like. If you would like to know when my next video is out, please subscribe to my channel. You can also use the comments to ask me a question or just tell the other users something you find interesting or something you would like to try out yourself. Sharing is caring, people. Thank you for listening. This is Coding for Chicks.